Hey guys, FitFilms here. Today we're reviewing The Matrix, created by the Wachowski brothers, starring Keanu Reeves as Neo. Let's get into it.
Matrix focuses around a character named Neo who lives a split life. During the day, he works at a respected business, while at night, he sells illegal software. Throughout all of this, though, he feels really unfulfilled and missing something in life that he really wants to find. Eventually, he's contacted by a character named Morpheus, who offers him a decision to either know the truth or continue living in a false reality. After deciding to know the truth, Neo wakes up in a cell and discovers that the world he'd been living in this entire time was really just a computer simulation.
After awakening from the cell, Neo is rescued by Morpheus and his crew in the Nebuchadnezzar, which is a sweet-ass name. After that, he's brought up to speed on the dire situation of the Earth and the human domination at the hands of artificial intelligence. Morpheus believes that Neo is the one to save all humans, and he can do things that nobody else can do. So although skeptical, Neo agrees to begin his training to tap into his unlocked potential, and through that make a badass fight scene between him and Morpheus in a dojo.
After this, Neo, along with most of the crew members, enter the Matrix in order to meet with a very important person in the human resistance called the Oracle. Unfortunately, though, Oracle tells Neo that despite what Morpheus thinks, he is not the one. She also tells him that shortly thereafter, he will have to decide whether or not Morpheus will sacrifice himself to save Neo, or whether he will give up his own life instead. After the meeting, when the group is trying to leave the Matrix, it is revealed that one of the crew members, named Cypher, actually betrayed the group and gave away their location to enemy agents. This leads to a deadly confrontation, and although Neo and Trinity are able to escape with their lives, most of the crew members are not, and Morpheus ends up captured by the enemy agents.
After Morpheus is captured, Neo is faced with a decision to either save him or let him die. He decides to save Morpheus, so Trinity and him go back into the Matrix to find him. He's being interrogated by Mr. Smith. This leads to a confrontation on a rooftop helipad. This is the first time that Neo exhibits signs that he is the one, by dodging every bullet that the agent shoots at him. After successfully rescuing Morpheus, they make it to the extraction point. Both Morpheus and Trinity make it out, but Agent Smith shows up and interferes with the extraction. Now it's just him and Neo. Neo is faced with yet another decision to either stay or run. This leads to an incredible battle in a subway station where Neo is able to hold off Agent Smith, which has never been done before. He then tries to get to the next extraction point, being chased by multiple agents. Neo opens the door and is face to face with Agent Smith. Agent Smith shoots him multiple times and Neo is assumed dead. But as the agents walk away, Neo begins to open his eyes. At this moment, he begins to see things for what they are. He begins to see the Matrix. What ensues is one of the best fight moments ever, as Neo is able to reach his full potential. Neo handily defeats Agent Smith, leaping into him and destroying him once and for all. The other agents seeing this run. This marks the beginning of Neo's journey to save the human race. Now let's talk about what we liked and didn't like about the movie. I personally did not like the opening scene. The running when Trinity's on the wall looked very low budget.
Okay, let's just kind of get this out of the way. A lot of the special effects are pretty dated, but that doesn't mean it's a bad. That's just to be expected.
No, I
it's
actually,
like 20 years old, so
I think some of the effects are actually pretty good.
a lot of them are really good, but there's just a few moments where it's just kind of like But
like when he's dodging the bullets and stuff. Like obviously it doesn't look real, but I mean it looks better than most things.
Mm-hmm.
And Trinity runs on a wall in a different scene in the movie when they break into the building, and it looks fine there.
Yeah, it's better. I agree.
But for some reason, like it just looks like she's a midget in that scene. So.
Well, in the first one, I thought it was pretty badass, but I agree that the wall scene, what the hell's going on?
I feel like
It is the lighting, maybe.
like all the worst CG for me is all the shots when it's like showing the ship moving around underground.
Oh, I don't think so. I think the what are those fucking squid things?
Oh,
I think those things look pretty good.
They're pretty bad CG.
Really?
Yeah,
Like for 1999, like thinking about it, I think it looked pretty good for 1999. Like when they're breaking into the ship, and it was like right up on Trinity.
Okay, yeah, when they had the lasers, it was bad, but like when they're swimming everywhere,
yeah, they kind of look like sperm. If I'm being honest.
That's a little far, but
like when they were showing like the radar thing, it was like
okay. You also got to think of like all the other scenes throughout the entire movie. All the action sequences, they're kick ass.
Yeah,
they're awesome. especially like the little purgatory like area where they like say, I need all of this. I need like we're gonna need guns.
Mm-hmm.
Those giant ass walls just come in like, oh no, let's take this. Yep. And they just fucking load up. I think that's sweet.
And what the movie like lacks in the CGI department definitely makes up for it in choreography.
Oh yeah.
The fight scenes very well done, like very intense. Definitely a lot of things that could not happen in real life, but very entertaining.
I really like that. The shots are very like. I hear people talk about having wide shots, no shaky cams, not like all up close and you can't see what's going on. Like the shots are always really far back. You can see exactly what's going on.
All right, so what do we think of Neo? Like the acting and stuff?
I think perfectly casted, and I love the tone. He's just like, well, I'm here. I'm gonna kick some ass. It's just like so nonchalant.
Me and Em were actually talking about this. My original opinion was that he was kind of, even though he was a really cool character, didn't really have much to him. He didn't really like know that much about him. Learn like he wasn't really that developed, but he kind of changed my perspective a little bit, and kind of making me realize that he kind of is like the audience character, where like everything that is new to us is new to him too.
He's relatable. He's
exactly
your average guy. He works a normal job. He's fed up with his life. Like a lot of people want change, but can't make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly he's the one. He's obviously going to be a little, not so sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the real character we're all thinking about, Mouse. Mouse is probably the worst casted character in the entire movie. He's talking about cereal, he's talking about chicken, just munching on whatever slop
I wouldn't say he's...
And they're like, what? Can't you just say it? Man, how do they know what chicken tastes like? Or cereal? No, it's... God, man, how's the chicken? Like, what the...
I wouldn't
fuck,
say he was
man?
poorly casted. I mean, if you put Brad Pitt as him, it's just the writing.
In the Matrix.
In the Matrix, he looked pretty good. Like I think the trench coats, the suits. Like you put me in a trench coat that Neo's wearing, I'm gonna look badass.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I definitely think they could have done better, and this is a perfect example of the CGI not being the greatest, probably the worst CGI in the movie, very unnecessary, is when he leaps into Agent Smith. And literally like destroys him, and you just see Agent Smith's face like flying at you, and it just looked very extra. But the scene before that made up for it when Neo's leg does this. He like keeps it in the air for like 30 seconds and lands it,
but needed.
And his face is just like he's just standing there, but no, like, and dust just flies off his arms. Definitely Keanu Reeves or nothing.
At his finest, yeah. One more gripe I have is that they killed off so many sweet characters, like nothing. Switch, probably my favorite character, right behind Keanu. Switch is the blonde girl. I think she was awesome. And APOC, he's just cool. He looked like a Hawaiian.
I liked the guy who looked like Carl Weathers from Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Tank and
Dude, he was like
Dozer.
He was like one of those big like emotional guys, that has like a soft spot. Like when he saw them getting killed, like you could just tell he was a good guy.
He didn't have to scream though. He's like, ah! He's charging him. Like, dude, you just make a silent attack. He's dead. Cypher's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scream at him and get his ass shot out of the air.
But
that's pretty much suicide at that point.
Cypher's I do not like that guy.
Yeah, he was an ugly guy too. Bad casting on that.
Another thing I didn't really like about the movie, and I guess you can cut it a little slack because it was 1999, so I don't know how cliched this was back then. Mm-hmm. It was probably starting, but Trinity brings Neo back to life with a kiss, and she's like, I love you.
Yeah, it's
and also, I'm going to throw 2 pictures up. Keanu Reeves and whoever played Trinity, no one knows, could be twins. They look incredibly similar. Exact same skin tone, same jawline.
Same hair.
They could, if she cut her hair a little shorter, she could be the one for all we know. And, like, Trinity and Neo, I have no problem with them, being together. But, I mean, like, how many people are left in civilization? And she just keeps, like, acting like it's some kind of, like, high school romance. Like, she keeps, like, mumbling about it, like, but you don't know. Like, you could die at any moment. Just tell them how you feel. Yeah. Like, you're literally, like, fighting AI robots and having, like, sperm robots attack your ship. Like, and she waits until he's getting, like, beat to shit to tell him. And he's dead. So.
And then brought to life with a kiss. So.
Yeah, and then.
Then he kicks ass. So, actually, I'll give him props for that.
I guess if you want a guy to reach his full potential, he just needs to get laid. So.
Yeah. End of story.
And for a final grade, The Matrix gets a 9 out of 10.